Okay, we'll call the order Charter Township of Oxford Water and Sewer Committee meeting. Today's date is August 25th, 2016. Noted roll, everyone in attendance, plus Supervisor Jim Sharp.
Not supervisor, engineer.
Engineer Sharp, Supervisor Dunn, and Clerk Wright. Approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second, the approval.
Moved and approved. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, hearing none. Approval of the water and sewer meeting minutes of July 20th, 2016.
Move to approve. Second motion.
All those in favor state aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Public comments on items not on the agenda.
Can I make a comment even though I'm not the public?
Sure.
I've been in contact with the Water Resource Commission about our water main break. We did pass the first test for bacteria yesterday. I'm supposed to get a call today at 2 o'clock, which it is now, to see if it's all clear. As soon as we do, we're going to be putting it on Facebook, on the township, any way we can to try to notify the people.
Okay. If that phone call comes in, we'll interrupt and take it.
Okay.
Anybody else? Seeing none. Unfinished business. Crossroads for Youth request to connect to water system. 6A. Who wants to lead this parade?
I don't have anything.
Did you have anything?
I was going to let Engineer Sharp see where he's at, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
We were given a letter from Crossroads that we would have access to their site to try to explore potential sites for a future well. And I know that was put on me. Last week I've been in contact, or last month at our last meeting, I've been in contact with the Drain Commissioner's office to try to structure an RFP to put together to get out to potential bidders for this project. And that's where it stands right now. It's still in my lap. I know I need to get on it, but with the other projects we've had going on right now, I just haven't had time to get to it. So I will get to it, and we'll get out an RFP for that, for potential bidders to explore that property. And you know, the thing I was struggling that we went back and forth was, how rigid do we make it? Do we tell them that we want them to find us a site that generates X amount of gallons? Do we tell them that, you know, what the specifics of that were? And it's kind of been, maybe that's the call we're waiting for.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of discussed between myself and the WRC office not to tell them how many gallons we're looking for or anything. Basically leave it open-ended and let them tell us how many wells they think they're going to need to drill in order to find, you know, the water down there, and let them do the analysis on how many gallons of water a certain area can produce. So we don't want to limit them and tell them, hey, we want 6 locations, because if we don't guess those locations right, then we're out. It's leave it more open-ended and leave it up to the consultant doing the work to do their analysis, look at the records that they can find, and determine where they think the best locations to investigate may be.
Okay. So that we don't delay our springtime build, which has been delayed from this year, what do you need help with?
I won't need any help with that, because that's not a springtime build. That's for a future well site. I don't think that we're anticipating building a new well.
But the determination of where the water main goes so that it'll be accessed by these new well sites, wouldn't that be in consideration?
Not necessarily. I mean, Crossroads, we said that the Crossroads engineer was supposed to contact me with some sort of a layout or whatever they had. I haven't been contacted by their engineer. So...
What if they even have an engineer?
Right. I don't know.
So should we?
This future well really affects their site and how they would foresee it being built out. But it doesn't affect our water main project.
But it affects us by where we're going to take that well. water wells from to get the looping system, doesn't it make sense that their access be somewhere close to that rather than run 1,000 feet of pipe this way? If they could access it over here and we move ours over here and it's 400 feet, wouldn't we be benefiting them? I mean, it's critical that this engineer get a hold of you and discuss these kind of things.
I mean, I guess certainly it would be, if we can coordinate those efforts, it would be fine, but I don't think, it's not gonna delay anything that, with the Lakeville Water Main project.
Okay.
So we
Is
got
that
to
the call?
contact,
So I need to develop the RFP for that, and their engineer or Crossroads, they need to develop a master plan and have their engineer contact me as to where they would like to see potential connections.
So Crossroads engineer needs to be engaging themselves now, or there's gonna be a cutoff date where they're not gonna be included in it. We gotta get this site moving.
So-
We're dragging our feet on it.
so we need to call the Mark Porter.
Yeah, and letting him know, that, listen, you had an assignment to get back to this engineer, and you haven't done that.
Or a month.
Over a month, there's 30 days gone.
But again, this doesn't affect the Lakeville project, the timing of that.
Okay, I'll write that down and bring it back in 6 months.
Okay.
So we haven't done anything on that. They haven't moved forward with giving you the RFP information. They haven't, their Crossroads engineer hasn't contacted you, so we have done nothing for the Crossroads for Use request to connect to the
Other
water.
than myself talking to the WRC office a couple of weeks ago and essentially developing a plan of how we think that the RFP should be written. That's what we've done.
Okay, and have they gotten back to us with the way it should be written?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, basically they didn't get back, we talked about it in that meeting.
Okay.
So I need to develop that RFP and get that out to these potential I mean, this type of study that we're looking at is probably gonna run the township, just ballparking it, $50,000 to $75,000 to do this investigation. Just to give you a heads up of what
Yep.
could be coming down the pipeline. Could be more, could be less, but that's kind of what I'm guessing.
Who does that? The investigation, the 50,000, is it you, is it?
No, that would be the consultants that we
Consultants?
did on the RFP. That would be like probably the Peerless, those types of people who know the underground geotechnical aspects of it.
So in preparation of this RFP, so we're not dragging it down, our next township board meeting, should we say not to exceed $70,000 to investigate water?
I think we put out the RFP,
Yeah.
see what the numbers are, and present it to the board.
Okay, good idea.
Yep.
But you
So
won't
I
have
will-
it back by the next board meeting.
Not the next board meeting, but the board meeting
October?
follow, yes.
Yeah. So I'll get the RFP written, we'll get it out
So
there, and we'll
plan-
get some
okay.
pricing back for, an October board meeting.
Just a signature.
RFP,
Yep.
October board meeting. And in the meantime, what about the contact to Crossroads? Are we making a contact to them to update them, and if we are, is that?
One of both of us will call Mark Porter. Do we have a number for him? We'll just,
Well, we've got the file, so we've got something
okay,
there.
we'll sit down, and we'll be in charge of contact.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, there's his number right there. So we'll contact.
You know what?
We'll do it right now.
What's the number?
810
Let me bring this up. 810
728
728
6320. And when would you have the bids back if you put an RFP out? When would you
Should we
expect?
allow 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
So we can have them back. in
So you
a
could
month.
award that by November meeting then? November board meeting? To award the contract?
Cannot be reached at the moment. Please leave a message after the tone. After you leave a message, you can modify it by pressing pound.
Yeah, Mark, this is Bill Dunn from Oxford Township. Could you get a hold of me? We need to start scheduling one of your chosen engineer to meet with our engineer to move forward on getting you guys water. My number is 248-933-9116. Thank you, Mark.
That just got recorded too.
I don't care.
Okay. So we're gonna do
It's a
that.
township phone.
Oh, is it?
Everybody knows it.
Okay. So other than that, we're just waiting for this contact, we're waiting for an RFP, we're waiting for all these kind of things to make happen.
We'll make it happen.
Okay. 6B, Sand Hill Townhomes, Abbey Ridge, Water and Sewer Service.
Well, first of all, construction is proceeding up there. They're installing the water and the sanitary sewer. I think the sanitary should be completed today. They're still working on the water main. However, we won't allow any, building permits. That's kind of been a topic of discussion around here until some approvals have been made.
Where some cash comes forward.
Yes. As far as the sewer agreement, it is my understanding that it has been completed, but whether a copy has been delivered to this office, I do not know.
I have a copy of the agreement. It's a matter of me getting, which I'm going to do tomorrow, go down to the Register of Deeds and have it taken care of.
Record it.
It's going to have to be recorded
Okay.
tomorrow.
And then I did just see an email. I was at another meeting, but I saw an email come across my phone that it appears they recorded the easements, water and sewer easements over the future phases out to North Oxford Road.
On the eastern portion.
Correct, and those have been recorded, and therefore they have requested that the lot splits be able to move forward as well.
Okay.
I have not reviewed those at all, but I did see that email come across my phone probably within the last hour or two.
Yeah, you'll have to review that before you present it to the,
We had reviewed it, and as long as nothing has changed on it,
so you have to review it, re-review it.
review it just to make sure they didn't slip anything in there, but I wouldn't think that they would. Then the future easements would be in place and the lot split, in my opinion, could move forward.
And the one thing I want to make sure that in the future that we capture bonding for projects like this. I don't know if there needs to be a stronger process in place at our end,
Just a checklist.
like a checklist that says,
Absolutely. Yes.
I don't know, Deanna can draw that up like the other checklist she has maybe. But
We can work a little, but we'll come up with something, run it by Jim.
yeah, just to ensure that we are checking all our boxes and dotting all our i's and crossing our t's.
Especially in the big project.
They have connected.
Oh, yeah.
They have connected to that 16-inch water main. They did their final connection, tap. I call it connection, but it's a tap today. So there haven't been any issues with that. So that's been good because that was obviously a very important line because that's what runs up and feeds the tower, the high school, and Willow Lake.
Do they have to do water sampling there?
They do.
After the tap to the tower?
No, not to the tower. They will not. They will. What they do is they make the tap to the 16-inch, then they leave a gap in the pipe, and then they put in all the rest of their piping around. That piping gets pressure tested and sampled for bacteria. And once that passes, then they're allowed to make that final connection, which is usually just a 3-foot piece. When they tap the main, they do a pressure test on it, but they're not able to sample it because it's essentially the water that's right in that 16-inch main already.
Right, you can't just scoop a little out.
Correct. But everything else does get tested ahead of time, and we won't allow them to make that final connection until we
Put
have.
that last piece in.
Yeah.
But it is progressing. It seems to be progressing at a pretty pretty good rate right now. So they, like I said, sanitary's in, water's probably not far behind. They're working on some storm sewer.
What, you have final buy-off on that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
As far as buy off to approve the township to issue
Building permit?
building permits?
Yes.
Yes. Well,
Not the chief, not Curtis, not anybody. It has to come from you that says everything is built as supposed to be, everything is connected as supposed to be.
For the water and for the site utilities.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
Correct.
Are you doing the inspection on that, or is it county?
We are.
You are?
Yeah, Sharp Engineering is. Depends, we got Jack Carr up there and Steve Wagner is also helping out because some days they're running 2 crews, some days they're running 1 crew. So Jack is up there full-time and Steve is up there handling a 2nd crew and bouncing back and forth a little bit to TSC as well but they're all done at TSC now.
Jack works for you?
Correct.
Yes. Now, they're also connecting the water to the fire suppression at Legacy today,
Not today, tomorrow.
tomorrow. They were gonna do it today.
They were supposed to start today, but they delayed it to tomorrow. It won't be connected, but they're gonna start some of the water main work over there. That's the schedule anyway.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. 6C, Lake Villa Mobile Home Park Water Service Update.
I'm assuming this is the Lakeville Water Main Project, and as we discussed at the last meeting, we said that we would have all those easement documents prepared. So we have all those easement documents prepared.
Thank you.
It's just a matter of if you want to have meetings with these individuals to bring it to them, if you want to drop it in the mail, if you want me to give it to the township and the township's going to approach them.
How many are there?
5.
And they're all local, or is one the
One,
the DNR?
yeah, one is actually the property right outside of Willow Lake is owned by the Michigan Department of Natural Resources.
Correct.
So there's a form that we have to fill out here and mail it out. I've gotten the contact name, Walter Lynn. I've called him twice and I haven't gotten a return call. So at this point, I think we just mail it in and see what happens with it. I was trying to reach out to him ahead of time just to let him know it was coming, see if there was anything additional he needed. But at this point, I think that we just send it in. I mean, I can reach out to him one more time, but we should
Well-
just send it in and get it moving.
Is it apropos that we have somebody like Kelly fill those up and stuff the envelopes and mail them out, or should we meet with the people that are local, or?
I think it's much better to do it face to face.
I do too. Curtis?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so like for Peter Fredericks, when we lay his out, we'll talk what we expect. Here's what we're doing. We want you to sign it. And that's a good idea, is face to face. Who wants to set those meetings up?
Should come from the township. I mean, you guys are the ones who are receiving the easements. I can certainly be in attendance at those meetings to explain the technical aspects of the project. Most people we have reached out to. The 5 are,
I wonder if we could have them all come at one time.
Ooh.
it's a possibility too.
And, you know, and Bill, it's a good idea, and I don't want to shoot the idea down, but most are going to give us the easements. I wouldn't want one to say all of a sudden, well, I'd like you $500.
And everybody else says,
Oh, hey, he's getting 500, I'm getting a mile long, maybe I ought to get 1,000. I wouldn't want that to start, so just weigh that in there.
just keep them individualized as special.
That's fine.
Regular attention.
I work here 40 hours a week, sometimes a little more,
Friday night,
sometimes.
Friday night meeting? Okay,
we are.
all right. That's tomorrow.
I got a baseball game tomorrow.
That's what I'm talking about.
Are you gonna meet at the ballpark?
So the meetings for setting up a meeting with, who are the 5 landowners now? The MDEQ,
MDNR.
DNR, Peter Fredericks,
Yep.
Oakland County?
Schools,
schools,
Schools are easy.
yeah,
Lake Villa,
Lake Villa,
That should be easy too.
Crossroads.
Crossroads.
That should be easy. 2 for 1 there.
Yeah,
There's an agreement where the Lake Villa has to give us the easements.
yes. So who wants to set these meetings up?
Good, you live right there, Jack.
I can talk to Peter Fredericks, no problem.
I can do it too.
I'll get Peter. You want me to get the schools?
I can get the schools.
Bill will get the schools. What about Crossroads? When Porter calls,
That'll take care of that.
Bill and or Curtis
And Lake Villa.
and Lake Villa.
It's just a call, tell them, commit.
Who's gonna call them?
We will.
You'll take care of that one.
Well, I only have one assignment, that's good. And we're gonna mail in the Michigan Department of Natural Resources
Yeah.
form, okay?
I'll reach out to Walter again one more time, but if I don't hear
Okay.
back from him or get his, then I'll just mail it and at least it'll get the process started.
All right. 6D, Mickelson Well House repairs.
Can we jump back to C?
Yeah, sure.
still On that one?
Go back to C.
So I had a meeting, as you know, we're trying to finalize these plans, and I had a meeting this morning at the county. And today's topic of discussion, our original plan for this, in order to try to save some cost, was to directionally drill all this pipe with what they call HDPE pipe, high density polyethylene pipe.
Right.
We could drill it, we don't have to open cut it. There's been there's a detail on the county detail sheet where the HDPE pipe comes together with ductile iron. Because when you put a fire hydrant in or you go through a gate valve, those are still ductile iron. So when you come into it with the HDPE, you have to connect those two pipes. Okay, the ductile iron doesn't move at all, but the HDPE, the plastic pipe, it stretches, it moves.
Well, they want 800 yards of
As you put
concrete.
pressure on it, it expands and it shrinks and the temperature causes it. So, and there have been a couple of failures in other communities where these restraining joints that they have to hold them together have actually pulled apart, and so they get a water main break there. So the county decided, okay, they're gonna get a consultant to investigate this. And long story short, where these connection points occur, for the size of our water main, we would need to pour a concrete block in here that is 8 feet by 8 feet by 2 feet thick. 64 square feet is what the calculate, just a little bit above, but 64 square feet by 2 feet thick. It's about 5 yards of concrete
I was say almost 6 yards, 7 yards of concrete.
to do that. And we have to do this, we got a fire hydrant, so we got plastic pipe here, and a hydrant in the middle. We have to do it here and here. So you got a truck of concrete for every fire hydrant, every 500 feet along the route. And then with the gate valves, we've set our design up so that you have a hydrant, and then it goes into the gate valve, so you still have 2 and 2, okay, because they tie together.
You directional boring the whole line.
We were looking at, yeah, directional drilling most of it, yeah.
Would it be cheaper to open cut it?
Well, that's what I need to look at now from a cost perspective. I mean, to do these hydrants and pour all this concrete in there and get access to a lot of it along Lakeville Road won't be a problem, but some of it back in the woods or something, you don't want to be driving concrete trucks back there. How are you gonna get that back?
How are you gonna get it if something happens? You have to chip away concrete?
Oh, Ron Finley was at the meeting and he had a big issue with it as far as maintenance goes, because essentially everything's just gonna be locked in there in a big concrete block. So, if there was a problem, how are you gonna rip that out? So the WRC didn't have a great answer for it. But that's where it stands right now. They're gonna put a detail together and finalize this calculation that they have and email that out to me. And there was another engineer who's doing a project in Lyon Township at the meeting as well, who also was in a similar situation, and we're just looking at each other going, it's gonna be too cost prohibitive. Maybe it's not, maybe I'm just, because it was sprung on us, and something new, maybe it won't be that bad. But the option would be to look at open cutting this thing now with ductile iron pipe instead of directionally drilling the
I mean, there are a couple places you may have to directional drill.
There are, and you can directional drill ductile iron pipe too, but I'm sure that's very expensive trying to push that ductile iron pipe through the ground as
So they
opposed to the
put a casing and then they
Bore
push
it.
pipe through it?
No, they don't put a casing. You can still do it just like the HEP, but you got to put some locking glands on there and a whole bunch of other stuff, and I don't think there's a lot of companies out there that do it, so it might get a little bit expensive.
So is the county doing away with so-called directional boring, and then they're gonna require these concrete?
They'll allow you to do it,
They'll allow you
but
to do it.
they're gonna make you put these things in, which, again, I haven't run the cost analysis, but it may make directionally drilling things cost prohibitive, unless, let's say you're going under a wetland or something where you have no option, but to directionally drill it. Again, it may not be that bad, but I just want to make you aware that that was what the discussion was today.
Is it on these plans?
Well, this is their detail right now, and you can see that they, let's see, where is it? Right now, they just have these restraining joints that are on here, where it goes from the HDPE. Right, here's a mechanical joint adapter, so they do pour a little block of concrete around it, but it's a very small amount. I mean, we're talking like 2 foot by 2 foot, you know, it's really no big deal. You can almost do it by hand. But what they're requiring now, especially with these larger diameter water mains, because they gotta figure in, there's these calculations that go into it. It just has so much force that it could pull apart from that other one, and they don't want to have a main break.
To explain this in simpler terms, every house has a water hammer in it. When you turn your water on and you shut it off, pressure's moving, and all of a sudden you stop it. Well, there is a device called a water hammer, and it takes that pressure and doesn't bang, so that it doesn't bang onto the off valve. It can literally blow a pipe right off the end. So they have water. This is a giant one with thousands of pounds of hammer.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's why they're saying 8 feet of concrete.
for our particular water main, they're saying that that's going to generate a force of approximately 63,000 pounds for our 18-inch diameter water main that we were looking at.
In the house, it can get upwards
Why
of 3 to
18?
4,000
Well, because it's,
just off your well.
It's
hydraulic.
18-inch outside diameter, 16-inch inside diameter. It's the way plastic pipe, they do by outside diameter. So it matches ductile iron pipe. If you say 16-inch ductile iron pipe, it's 16-inch inside diameter. To match that, we have to do 18-inch outside diameter for plastic. So it's just something I'm going to look at. The rest of the plan, of these plans are good to go, with the exception, I gotta formalize the meter pit that's going in there. Again, the county is suggesting not doing a meter pit, but doing something above ground. I believe that they have one over at Parkhurst Mobile Home Park, where it looks like a couple of car carriers almost on top of the ground there. That's actually where their meters and so forth are, so I'm gonna go look at that. But those are really the only two remaining details that I need to work out with regards to these plans.
And just to ensure that this is just for the ergonomics of the water resources people working, we're looking at those meters versus the protection of the meter being underground in a meter
Oh
box.
yeah, if you go underground, you gotta have all the OSHA stuff going on. If it's above ground, it's much easier to maintain, and so those are really the two remaining items that we have to work out. The rest of the plans are complete. We need to get the easements, and then we could actually begin the permitting process once I finalize the design. Even if we don't have the easements, we could still start the permitting process, and we just, hopefully the water main doesn't move, or hopefully everybody agrees to the easements that are in place.
I'm doing real well.
Required.
Hold on 1 second, Mark.
Yep.
Mike Porter.
Mr. Porter,
Hold on. Mr. Porter,
Yeah.
you're here at the water sewer meeting.
Okay, hi everyone.
how you doing?
Mark, we need you guys to have your engineer get a hold of Jim Sharp, our engineer.
Okay, I will make sure that we have Jamie contact that person immediately. And then get in contact with whom?
Jim Sharp.
Jim Sharp.
Yeah, I gave you my,
Okay, I'll make sure that happens. I'll contact Jamie right now. We'll get going on that.
Is there anything else we need from?
Easements.
Oh yeah, we need to set up a time to come in and sign the easement forms.
Okay,
Well, we don't know where it's going.
that'll be fine. Any time next week will be fine.
You do, wait, I've got to just, I'm thinking out loud here.
Yeah.
I'm not an engineer. Since we haven't decided the route, Jim, is this something, after you meet with their engineer, you might be able to pin it down a little better?
yeah, we could. We have it right now, just kind of stubbing at their northwest corner for a future expansion, but if their engineer can get with me and it's determined they want it in a different location, we would need to revise that easement, so.
Why don't
Okay, well, okay.
we just wait till Jim and your engineer figure out where the best place to go, and we'll do the easement documents one time.
Well, that makes more sense.
Okay,
Okay, Mark.
Okay, I will get on that right now.
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye now.
Welcome. Everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, we're getting all this stuff done.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to have his engineer. Jim, let us know if he doesn't contact you
Okay.
by this time next week. Give him a week, and if he hasn't contacted you, we'll just get back with Mr. Porter and
Sure.
Light a fire.
you light a fire. Exactly.
So
Jim,
that was the update really, and that's all I had on,
Has the WRC completed the review on these?
they have.
So they're-
Their preliminary review, yes. And I had those comments and some minor comments. The majority of the comments had to do with the meter pit and to discuss with their office this concrete restraining thing. As far as the alignment and everything else, they didn't really have any issues with it.
wherever we need to drill, I mean, we have to drill, like under something at the school, and we want to use that, you're going to determine that if the rest can be open cut and laid in ductile, it'd probably be cheaper, beneficial.
Sure.
You're going to make that recommendation before.
Yeah. For
Okay.
example, underneath the school playground, we may want to still drill that. You know,
Right.
so that we don't disturb it. But the roadway, we were proposing to drill that. Maybe now we open cut it since we are going to be repairing the road anyhow.
Right.
So that might be an area that we decide to open cut and,
We'll rely on you to tell us, open cut here, drill here, here's the cost of these new concrete slabs, and we'll move forward.
and I may end up alternate bidding. I may design it both ways and get it permitted both ways, and then we bid it one way, base bid, and then alternate bid it and see what the prices come in at too. I mean,
Okay.
we've
That
got
sounds like a
options
good
there.
plan.
And it may be early, but what's the bidding schedule look like? When you
Well, we were
thought
planning
that?
on with getting the permitting done, before the holidays, and getting the bids out, in the winter, like February-ish or something for a March start. That way we can get going with some of the work in the latter part of the winter, and we're ready to go with the schools. We can't get to the road until June anyway. So if we could get everything else done and then just worry about the portion of the road in the summertime, then we'd be in good shape.
So you're thinking February
Yeah.
to bid?
And it's usually a good time to bid because contractors are looking for work at that time, starting to put stuff on their books. If you bid it too early, they're not gonna, if you bid it, say, November or December, they don't know what the prices of their material may be, so they're probably gonna inflate it on the high side because they don't know where the prices may go. So they're gonna cover their butts, if they gotta hold their prices for, say, 120 days or 180 days. So I think a 60 to 90 day window would be good.
Ductile iron is very expensive.
That's why we're looking at the plastic.
Yeah.
If we have to start doing all this additional work every 500 feet at every hydrant, yeah.
Can you lay plastic pipe in open ditch?
You can lay it, but you still have to, it's not a matter of the directional drilling, it's a matter of the type of material that plastic, when you put it in the ground, it's still gonna wanna stretch and expand with the temperature and with the pressures that are
Your
going
joints
through
would
it.
still require,
So you could open cut it, you could lay it all out, you could open cut it and fuse all the pipe together and then just lay it in the hole, but where it matches up to the ductile iron, you would still
I
have to
mean,
do
at the
those.
hydrants and...
You would still have to do those concrete blocks there, yeah, whether it's directionally drilled or whether it's open cut with plastic.
Can I think out loud?
yeah, Bill.
As long as we're talking about this project, and should we sit down and figure out where we're going to get the money for this? But now we have something tangible. We've got Abbey Ridge going in. I don't know how many units they've got, but we're going to be seeing that much money coming into our coffers, where we could be able to tell our board, with all the projects going now, this is where we can expect to get the monies.
Well, we already know Abbey Ridge is gonna start off in their first phase with how many units?
7 times 140.
Times 0.6.
0.6.
It's 84.
So 84.
84.
Rain Man.
84 what?
84.
84
equivalent
REUs.
REUs,
Oh,
equivalent REUs,
Times 6,075.
which is about 510,000, somewhere in there.
.67 times,
0.67, 0.6.
I thought you said .67. 0.6 times
140.
140.
0.6 times 140 equals 84, Rain Man, times 6,075,
Yes.
Yes.
$510,300. So
And-
easily say $500,000 of this water project could be funded from that water fund.
Well, we're gonna have an influx of $500,000.
Right.
What's the amount for Tractor Supply? What do they-
1.5,
No, not much.
1.9, 1.96.
So they're not even an issue.
About 10 grand.
But we also have to figure in the debt reduction.
but when they start using the water.
Yeah.
So we can't figure that in right up front. That's not cash money in the pocket.
Not approved. But also you're gonna see,
Well, that goes back to your argument. Debt reduction revenues to pay debt reduction expense, not water main construction.
Well, it is, the debt, yeah, the debt
you gotta get
reduction
them going,
is,
didn't you?
Right there.
You had to get it going.
yeah, the debt reduction.
I don't mind your idea, Bill. But Jackson, no, wait a minute. This money goes here, this money goes here.
No,
Don't be trying to borrow
on the
from
water
somebody else.
fund, the debt reduction goes towards monies owed to the water system. If we are putting in a water system, that's monies owed to the water system. So the debt reduction could pay that. Now, if somebody said, use that debt reduction to pay my water bill, no.
But, you know, we can also, you know, you're gonna have the 84 units times $3,500. So that's gonna be money that's going to be going in the sewer fund,
Right.
which we could possibly use to loan.
We already
the
have,
water
we
fund.
already have a motion and an approval to borrow $1 million from our sewer fund.
But again, you're going to be,
That much more.
you're gonna have that much more.
Right.
So maybe we can borrow 1.2 million or 1.3
Correct.
million. We don't know, but
When
it's
we-
something like that. Mr. Spreadsheet here, I'm
Yeah,
sure will
Mr.
have this for us.
Well, here's what my proposal would be is Jim's gonna get us a cost here pretty soon. We already have the $1 million that's been approved by the board. We have a future of 510,000 coming in, so if you take that 1.5, what else do we need? What's the cost right now?
It was estimated at 2.5.
So we need another $1 million from somewhere.
Which is fine. I would do it on the high side.
We don't need 1.5 million because we're gonna take 5 million or 500,000 from the tap fees
The tap
from
fees.
Abbey Ridge. So now you only need 1 million.
Because the original Plan B2 was 2.1 million, which the school's going to kick in 200,000. So we were really on the hook for
Eight.
between 1.9 and 2 million.
Yeah.
So I'd say, Jim, get your estimate. I'd say the high end estimate, and let us work our way down from there.
Okay.
And then we can afford the worst scenario, and then makes anything less a lot better.
Too bad we don't know of a development that wants to buy their tap fees up front.
There's some on the books, but they're just not coming forward,
Right.
you know, as far as over here.
Well, yeah, if you had 100 homes going in that were gonna tap the water, that'd be 600,000. Well, we're not ready to build, but if you give us the 500 now, you have your 600 water, or 100 water taps.
You can lock in the price.
Right,
That's
right.
exactly
Lock
right.
in their price, exactly.
Yeah.
So creatively, we should start looking at that to get that $1 million. It would all have to be approved by the board, so you could still come up with some innovative ways of getting that money
Without bonding.
without bonding.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, we should look at our bond to ensure that we have the best bond return.
Well, we're locked in
Yep.
on almost all of them, because we're at the mercy of the county on the 3 sewer ones, and we just refunded the water one, which we did good on water.
Yeah,
Those bondholders wanna get that, keep getting that.
And we did.
that little punch. Lakeville Mobile Home Park Water Service update is done.
Yes, that's all I had, yes.
Kurt, do you have anything on that?
Nope, bidding
Bill?
schedule, state permits. Nope, Jim answered my questions.
Okay. Item 6D, Mickelson Well House repairs.
I actually spoke with Matt Carr today.
Jack's brother.
I don't think it's his brother, but I spoke with him and he will be providing me the estimate for the electrical improvements that we walked the site about a month ago or more, and he said he'd get it to me. I know he went on vacation, but at that same meeting today, myself and Ron Finley got on the phone with him, and he acknowledged he needed to get us something.
So rather than have that unsightly well house there, he's coming up with the cost of what it would take to provide electric to pumps.
Correct.
Generator.
And well, it's the generator, the upgrade of the electricity, the use of the existing building that, when I say building, the generator building, not the well building there.
Right.
And I
So-
believe it would be on me, right, to do the cost for the
Yes, do you have that?
wells. I do not.
You need to give us the building demolition, replacement, and submersible wells.
Correct. So when I get Jack's stuff, then I will, Jack, there I go. I almost made the, when I get Matt's stuff, then I will assemble all that and give it to you in one package.
So you need his items before you can do yours?
I really don't. I really don't. I could be working on mine as well. And I have the preliminary numbers, but I just need to look at them again.
You should use your split personality to double your workload.
Oh, telling you, man. Telling you. Yeah. Don't worry. I'll get it done.
Be a good project for an intern.
Trying, Jack. Trying.
I'm always looking out for the kids.
Hey, if you know somebody who's looking to be a civil engineer and needs some drafting work or something, please forward them my information.
Not me.
So
Yeah.
you got a bright individual right there.
Yeah. I got one new CAD operator there, and I'm interviewing another engineer and another CAD operator. So if you guys know more people, please send them my way, because
We know you're working on it, Jim, and it's a
hard
tough
part
job
is-
market out there because everybody's hiring. I get it.
yep.
Okay, you're gonna have that, once Matt Carr provides you that information and you get all the items listed on Curtis's list
Yep.
and formulate a total. Water ordinance amendments. Now, I asked before we sent these through, this has been approved by the attorney? Or does it not need to be approved by the attorney?
My understanding is the attorney did this red line markup that was approved by the township board for the $900.
Okay?
And then, after that, he had in his possession these markups that I sent him,
Okay?
all these. And he
All
brought,
these.
Yep.
no, this product here
This product is off of your
was
mark.
generated just from my comments
Okay,
through the Water and Sewer Committee.
yes.
So this is the latest you have right now. Now what I did is went through, and this sheet you have right here,
Yes.
this is the items that I still have questions on from the attorney, and that's where we stop the attorney from moving forward till we meet now, then we will decide where we're headed.
So what I'm hearing, and I believe to be, is we need to ask for more money for the attorney to review these additional changes in the ordinance?
Yes, and yes or no answer, yes. Now you have indirectly administrative monies to move forward, but you have ordinance amendment. So I don't know if ordinance amendment requires board approval for
I
expenditure.
think ordinance amendment does require board approval, but so doesn't the attorney review cost come in? Or do you guys have administrative amounts that you can go up to?
Depends on how much it is.
I want to say it's $500 based upon the attorney what's the attorney contact, attorney review, policy procedure?
I have the ability to spend $3,500.
But is it on ordinance or whatever?
Depends on whatever I want to.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, but this cost us $900 to get this far. How much do you think it's gonna cost to get this far?
Well, some of these, if you look at this sheet here.
I did.
And I did.
And it's, some of them are just substance or form rather, you know, just because you need to change if to and or whatever, but the highlighted ones are like questionable. Like in item number 5, for example.
Hold on, let me get there. Got it.
It's on page.
Township Water and Sewer Committee shall make an investigation written application. The Water and Sewer Committee shall make a recommendation to the Township Board upon a variance request after a public hearing?
Yes, it's a public hearing held by the Water and Sewer Committee or by the Township Board. Just as an example.
I really don't know of any committees that hold public hearings. Planning commissions and township boards can.
Now, in order to establish the RU factor, Bill, you were there, when it happened with Goddard School, didn't you have a public hearing with them to determine the RUs that was going to be required?
No,
Whether they had kitchen facilities or not?
there's the man.
Okay, so if that's not the case, then the public hearing will go straight to the Township Board, so that question would be answered, for example.
Yeah.
What happens is Jim assesses or tells them what their RU factor is going to be. If they don't like it, their next course is to come in front of the Water Sewer Committee and we make the determination.
Yeah.
Then we present it to the
No,
township.
we make the determination.
Yeah, they did. The final rested right with this committee, is what happened with it. I guess the
It
question
hasn't
is,
happened.
do you want to proceed with these items? And you may have more, or some of these don't even need to be forwarded, but, and if that's the case, how much do you feel is an estimate to go to the attorney to pay for this?
Well,
Or can we answer them ourselves?
I think we just do it.
what do you mean just do it, Bill? Have them do it?
Yeah.
I think,
I mean, if
It
it's
doesn't-
less than $1,000,
I would ask Gary is, hey, here's the stuff we need to do. Can this be done for what, how much money?
yeah.
Give us an estimate.
And then you have administrative authority to do it, we get it done and get it written.
What I can do is ask Gary that question. The Water and Sewer Committee wants to know what your estimate is to complete these items. Put this in the board packet. Board, this is the attorney's estimate. Do you want to move forward with these changes or do you not?
Whatever.
Well, we would recommend